I like to say I'm an alien. I can see symbols. When I first started meditating, it was when I was thinking about killing myself all the time. Meditation allowed me to stop thinking about 100 million things. From there, being able to achieve so much success in my business.
What's the biggest amount you have ever made in a month?
75,000. I had to go through a lot of fucking hard work to get here. If people saw the amount of hours that I put into coaching and healing my trauma, getting out of my own way to be able to actually do this, they'd be proud of me.
Wait. Can we do any of that right now?
We don't like things that we're not good at. It's about training yourself and about being consistent. Whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right.
You're right. You hanging out with a bunch of losers will make you the sixth loser. You're a loser.
The vision that I have this year is to make 1.2 million.
1.2 million.
Yeah.
And what happens after that?
Then I started going on spaceships.
Wait.
Okay.
My name is Nelson, and I'm the host of the Creative Grid podcast, a space committed to help creative entrepreneurs become the best possible version of themselves, find their inner grit, and reach success in all areas of life. We usually have extraordinary individuals as guests, and today is no exception. Today's guest is a psychic. She's a spiritual and business coach. She's the owner of Starseed Society, and her mission is to help you find your mission. Please welcome Natalie Paterson. Patterson, is it?
Patterson,
yeah.
Thank you so
Welcome,
much.
Nat. How are you?
I'm amazing, my love. How are you?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. Very excited because we have tried to schedule this episode a couple of times, but then I know you're a busy woman. You were doing a bunch of stuff, so we have to postpone. But here we are. So I'm very excited. This is the first time we met in person, by the way. You're awesome. You look great. You're gorgeous.
Babe.
Love your tattoo.
Thank you. Love your hat. Love your curls.
Thank you. For people that have never heard of you, who are you? What do you do? Talk to us.
Love it. Thank you so much. So, my name is Natalie Paterson. I'm 28 years old. A few years ago, I was struggling with anxiety and depression. I felt super lost and super confused on what I was doing with my life. I started meditating, and I had this desire to meet my spirit guides. I had this desire to want to learn about what's on the other side. Like, why is it that we came to Earth? And what is this Earth? What is this thing we're just spinning around, floating? Why are we here? And so my intuition started to spark. I started listening to different podcasts, learning different things about spirituality, and I was guided to meeting my spirit guides. 2 years ago, my spirit guide said to me in the middle of COVID, Nat, you have to go to Queensland. And now at this point I was living in Melbourne, had a really successful lash business, and I was thinking, what the fuck, universe? What do you mean I'm just going to get up, sell everything and leave? And sure enough, I did. I was able to come up to Queensland, and they guided me to more self-development. And then from self-development got into like deeper conspiracies, deeper understanding of the world, philosophies, and why on earth I am here. And so I was sitting one day in a meditation class and sat next to this lovely lady who owned an awesome NLP school. And this started the transition of my life. I went and did a couple of different courses, and then my spirit guide said to me, you are going to create an amazing spiritual community that is going to help serve humanity. And I'm like, oh, it's a pretty big fucking mission. I'm unsure.
Damn.
And at this
really?
point, I'm like, I don't know. And all of these like imposter syndrome, like we just spoke about before we actually jumped on here, guys. I was like, am I worthy? Am I good enough? How can I lead these people if I don't even know the direction I'm going in? And so I continued meditating. I continued the process of wanting to be better. And so this time last year, I created Starseed Society with the intention of awakening all of the starseeds to form a society to help heal this earth, which is so exciting. So I have just started doing events. The events are running in Queensland. I will be hosting them in Sydney and in Melbourne, and then next year take them to my home country of New Zealand.
Yeah, cool.
Which is cool. And so the intention is to spread love, light, and enlightenment and power to everyone.
Yeah, awesome. That sounds awesome. I've been watching your content as well, and
Thank
I
you.
love what you're doing, and I love what you're about. So I'm very keen to learn more about this.
Cool, thanks.
Can you explain first, what's the Starseed Society? What does that mean?
Great. So I believe we're all starseeds, especially those who have chosen to awaken at this time. So, you know, there's this huge movement over the past, let's say 5-10 years, of people becoming woke, or the names float around of light workers, starseeds, healers. And these beautiful people have chosen to come to Earth at this time to help serve humanity, right? And, you know, in some way or another, whether you're creating content for other people, whether you're a facilitator, whether or not you're, you know, flipping burgers, whatever you're doing it to serve humanity because you have a huge passion and a desire to help. And so there are so many forms of starseeds. Now, starseeds come from different dimensions, and they come from different planetary systems, and they've come to Earth to awaken at this time. So it could be that some people are still not awake. It could be that they've already awakened. And then so I also channeled this thing called light language, right? And light
That's
language.
one of my next we're leading exactly where we need to go.
It's perfect. Thank you, universe. So light language is a language in which starseeds can talk and channel, and it is designed to help awaken the lost or stuck DNA of the starseed. So when I channel light language, it is to help activate the dormant DNA within the person so that they can then raise their vibration so that they can live their purposeful life.
Okay. Is everyone a starseed?
I would say, and this is my own opinion, and this is totally my own belief system, guys, is that I would say 95% of the humanity is, yes. It's just whether or not they're choosing to actually wake up at this time or not. It's whether or not they're fully plugged into the matrix, or they're stepping out of the matrix.
Now we're talking my language.
So the whole matrix system, right? We come into Earth, we're born, we're bred, we go to school, we get told what to do, blah, blah, blah. You know the long story. And so, you know, those starseeds that are choosing to break away from the matrix and serve humanity, they're the starseeds that are making the difference. Now, I have faith and I have hope that all starseeds will awaken so that we can shift into what's called the fifth dimension. So then, this is another story. We are currently sitting in the third dimension. And I believe that we can, as a collective, get to the fifth dimension. So when we talk about being psychic, or when we talk about being totally intuitive, we are actually tapping into another dimension to bring like that dimension in so that we can then explore, create, express, we can manifest quicker, we can do all these wonderful things.
Light language.
Yes.
What exactly does that mean? Are you actually talking about language? Is it like what exactly is it?
I'm so glad you
asked. And
this.
if you can give an example as well, if it's actually like a language or something, because I've never heard of this.
Okay, great. So, light language is it's hard to explain out loud. Okay, so we have what's called light codes. So I can see symbols, almost like Have you seen The Matrix?
Yeah.
Cool. So do you remember the Matrix codes, like those green codes coming through? So I see those. So almost as if you want to get into this convo.
Yeah, for sure.
We're in a full simulation, right? So this whole idea that we're in a simulation. Thank you, forgot my words. These codes I see all the time. And so I will go through like a upgrade for maybe 2 or 3 days where I'll see light codes all the time. And what happens is my eyes flicker to the back of my head, and it's like I'm receiving all these messages from a computer, and I'm quite literally plugged into a computer, and it's like downloading through for me, and I'm like, ooh, upgrade time. Like, an iPhone.
Yeah.
How we're like, we'll install 2.0 upgrade version. That quite literally happens to me. And so when I first started explaining this to my mum and dad, they were like, Nat, I think you've lost the fucking plot.
That's good parenting right there.
I'm like, thanks, Mum and Dad, for the support. They love me so much and they fully support what I do. However, it is such a super weird left of field conversation or thing that happens to me, right? So I see these light codes. And I also then get...
Wait, have you always been able to do this, or was it after meditation?
Nelson, yeah. So about 3 years ago, when I was hardcore meditating every single day, I was starting to remove all my trauma. I was going really deep in the healing work. I was starting to eat really clean, like I went organic vegan, started doing heaps of different detoxes, and this kind of allowed all the layers to peel back. And then it allowed me to fully step into the highest version of myself in this reality at this time. And then one day I literally woke up, set the intention to channel light language, and it just came. And so it was like an inner knowing. It was like my soul had to just remember what it was. And it was wild. When it first started happening, I was crying with pure joy and love. I was like, I can't believe I get to do this. Oh my God. You know? I was like, this is fucking wild. I can't believe I can do this. Because for a few years I had been listening to light language, and my guides had guided me to listening to light language. And when I started listening to it, I was like, there's this knowing of like, I think I could speak this one day. I just didn't know how to do it. So I had seen a couple of different healers, and I'd been hypnotized to see if I could actually speak light language, because I was fascinated with it. Just like for years I was fascinated with wanting to be psychic. And that also literally one day woke up and I was getting messages, and I was like, am I hearing things in my own head, or is this actually a message? And then slowly but surely I realized that actually I was becoming more and more psychic. And this one day my phone broke, and I was like, this is random. This is a brand new iPhone. I'm like, how did it just completely went black? I was like, what the fuck, universe? What do you mean? What do you mean? So I went to Apple and I was like, this is my current phone. It's brand new. Got it from Vodafone a few weeks ago. And as soon as I then looked at him and started to breathe deeply, I kid you not, it was like a thought came from his mind into mine. And then I looked at this other guy, and he had a wedding ring on. And I was getting messages from him and about him and his wife. And I looked at this other girl and I knew her name. And I was like, whoa. I've just fully stepped into some sort of different dimension. How is this possible? And I was like, holy shit, I'm psychic. I was like, oh my God. What do I do? Who do I call it? Mum, I think I'm psychic. Wild. So we've gone around and round and up and down around the story. However, that's a little bit about light language.
Can you see this whenever you want to?
Yeah.
And what kind of information do you normally get?
So it's whenever I want to tune into source energy. So whether you want to call it God, source energy, the universe, however you would like to call it or describe it, I choose to connect into source energy, and it's almost like an instant thing that can then just like roll off my tongue, or it can... Yeah, it just depends what the messages are. So I can sometimes just channel light language just to give the person an activation or healing or whatever it may be. So in the past, I used to do a lot of different healings, and let's say they'd come in because they want to be healed for forgiveness or for love or for guilt or whatever it may be. And so working with my guides and the beings from different dimensions, I was able to tune into source energy, set the intention, heal them. With light language, it can just be, sometimes I just get a download and it's just like fun and bubbly. I've got a couple of girlfriends that speak light language too, and we just channel light language to each other on voice notes. Like we're speaking in some random language to each other. We are. We're just like, and we just talk it.
Wait, is that the actual language?
I actually have this full calling. Can I touch your heart chakra?
Yeah.
Okay. Close your eyes and take a big deep breath in. Shirata e kotoira na e te karata e toi shimana e tere karita e so yarata e shitamata e te ara to yarata e shirato e toya. I'm just going to touch you. Shiara toyara no so ya te kiara. Poyor to toyara mana e re toya ti here kata e te shoyara na atia. Shoyara na e toyara ta here kiara mana e sia te ro toyara mana ta era kia te tia. You have the most beautiful heart. Okay, you can open your eyes. So basically, I just felt into your energy and just said, like, sending so much love and vibration and positive, love to you. And just then my hands wanted to take me up to your third eye to give you a stronger activation, because you're also super intuitive. You know this, of course. And so it's just like giving you that next level of activation.
I'll tell you, that felt awesome. That felt awesome. Like what you were doing on my chest feels so good. That's awesome. So from that you just did, what can you see from me? What, or even like from talking to me? Because we just met. What can you tell about me?
That you're so humble and that you really genuinely want to help heal people. And so it's like this is your creative expression, and through that, it'll serve and hit home to so many people. And that is your mission. You've come here to really help people, and you're fulfilling that. So from my being to you, I'm so proud of you. And there's this huge sense of, I really want to say Labrador energy. How you see a little Labrador puppy and they're like super cute and full of like love. Mm-hmm. That's you. You represent this big, beautiful Labrador. So
I think I have a lot of love to give, and totally. I'll tell you what,
I can feel it.
That's exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to help humanity, because I understood through my life experience that life is bigger than me. I'm just dust as well. That was one thing that really became clear with the mushroom experience, actually. Yes, love. Like after that, I saw it clearly. It's hard to explain to people, but if you're... By the way, I'm not suggesting you should do it, but you probably should. I think a lot of people will be helped by doing that, by having a mushroom experience. But through my trip, one of those... I fully understood what people mean when they say we're connected to everything. Totally. And that we don't really matter, but we do at the same time, kind of thing. Like I saw myself.
There's that polarity, right?
Yeah, no. So it was very, very interesting. And that was one of the experiences that fully confirmed to me, like, yeah, you know what? I'm dust, but I'm here to help, and I can make a difference, and it matters. What you do every day matters. That's why I'm trying to inspire people and give them the tools to pursue what they love, because it actually makes a whole difference in your reality and in your surroundings and people around you. People behave different. I will tell you what. I have someone close to me that is being, like, for the past year, getting closer in my circle and all this stuff. And, he's working with me, all these things. And I've seen the progression by just being me and holding myself to a high standard and being passionate about what I do and bringing always good vibes and all this stuff.
Love it.
How he's been transformed in the past 6 months. He used to be unathletic. He used to be a little bit depressed. He used to, hang out with people that are completely lost in life, that are just partying and distracted with all this bullshit that the system gives you.
The Matrix gives you.
Yeah, exactly. So, and now I've seen the progression. Like, he has gotten smarter. He's actually learning about different things that truly matter in his life, like finances, business, following what he loves, learning, understanding who he is and what he wants out of life. So basically I'm here to do that.
Yeah, I know, and I can feel it, like it's so strong and innate within you. And even like the content that you're doing and you're giving out, like it's here to help. There's a hidden message in it that is there to like spread love and joy. And that's, when we talk about vibration, the highest vibrations that a human can radiate is love, joy, and empowerment. And that is you, my love. Well done.
Thank you. Cool. That's awesome. So meditation.
Yes.
How can someone start meditating? I think it has been popularized quite a lot in the past years, but people don't really understand how to do it or what's the best way of approach it. Some people might say like, oh, I can't be sitting down for an hour. What should I do in silence? Right. Like, can you describe how can meditation help people and give practical steps for people to do it?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So funnily enough, this morning, actually, I started one of my first clients, her first 8 weeks. So it was her first session this morning. And the first thing I always do is teach people how to meditate. So I just say, you can meditate wherever you are. as soon as I get in a flight, the first thing I do is meditate, because A, I'm just sitting there, you know, and B, it's like, why not? Why not meditate wherever you want to be? So all you need to do is to be able to, you can either do it opening your eyes or closing your eyes. For the start, it's probably most comfortable to close down your eyes. And all it is just taking that time to fully connect into the breath. So allowing yourself to be conscious and aware of your breath. So breathing in and breathing out. And I always say count. You know, for many of us, we have that real monkey mind, we're overthinking, we're consistently up in our head. And so when we think of meditating, at the start, I was really scared of, what the fuck, am I going to sit there and all my thoughts are going to pop up and then I don't want to do it. And, you know, you kind of distract yourself to not do it. And so then I remember listening to a spiritual teacher and they said, do a mantra. And of course, when you say a mantra, you say the mantra on repeat and on repeat and on repeat. So it actually allows your mind to focus on something. So then now when I teach meditation, I teach people just to count. So shall we do it?
Yeah, let's
Great.
do it.
So what I want you to do is just close down your eyes. Take a big, long, deep breath in. And what I want you to do is just count, breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, breathing out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, breathing out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and just continue breathing for a moment while I talk. Allowing yourself to just consistently feel the rise and fall of your breath, even if your mind starts to wander. Allow it to just come back to the breath gently, without judgment, without overthinking, allowing yourself just to come back to the breath. Breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and opening your eyes. And it can be so simple, right? And I often get asked questions of, should I be sitting up? Should I be laying down? Does it matter if I'm doing this? Does it matter if I'm doing that? Nothing matters. The only thing that matters,
Just do it.
Just fucking do it. Just do it. And, you know, like anything in life, we don't like things that we're not good at. And so it's about training yourself and about being consistent. And, you know, in business, if you want to be successful, if you want to get good at something, fucking show up.
Yeah.
Show up, be there, be square, you know, do the things, fuck. And in my experience,
so true, like literally just show up. Yeah.
And it's all you need to do is just do the work.
Yeah.
So 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day, you know, work your way up. I'm sure when most people started the gym, they didn't like it. You know, they felt a bit awkward, a bit uncomfortable, and they're a bit judgy of themselves. And when they're able to let go and just consistently show up, eventually once you start seeing results, you're like, fuck, I'm good at this. I'm getting shredded, you know, I'm sexy. And so you continue to then build that confidence. Confidence builds, you know, certainty. And then from there, it becomes easy. And so all you've got to do is get over that little first hurdle. And so one thing that I love advising my clients to do is go onto YouTube and type in great meditation. It is so easy. There are so many awesome meditations. There's 5-minute meditations, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. And every single meditation that I've ever done by Great Meditation, by the way, I've done probably 100 of their meditations. All of them are so soft and they're so easy to listen to. And no matter where you are, you can meditate.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, the biggest thing for me is, for such a long time, I thought I had ADHD. I'm someone who's very over the top and I love being wild and I love being silly. And especially when I was at high school, fuck, I could not pay attention. I just didn't want to pay attention in class, you know. I wanted to talk to my friends and do things and, you know, just be a bit wild. And meditation allowed me to stop really thinking about 100 million things and allowed me to bring it back into myself, and then allowed me to focus on one thing at a time. And then from there, I've been able to achieve so much success in my business and in my personal life because I have quietness in my mind,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so amazing. So when I first started meditating, it was when I was heavily depressed and I was thinking about killing myself all the time. And I was sitting in bed and I remember someone saying to me, you should meditate, you should meditate, you should meditate. And so many people had said this to me. And so I downloaded an app called Headspace and I just started 10 minutes a night. And it was so simple and so easy. And then from there, I was like, okay, maybe I could try guided meditations on YouTube. And then it was just like my intuition just guided me to wanting to learn all these different things about spiritual development. And then here we are a few years later, I'm fucking on, babe, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome.
So it's so cool.
I'll tell you, it's easier to meditate having a voice like yours. I was like, yeah, I can stay here meditating all day. No, that's awesome. You should definitely do some recordings of meditations.
Yes.
I think that would be a banger. That would be awesome.
Thanks.
I want to backtrack for a second.
Yes.
Also, that ring is really cool.
Thanks.
That's
it's
awesome.
an agate. I bought it in Bali. It's beautiful.
That's awesome. I really like it.
Thanks. I love it too.
I want to backtrack to the psychic part.
Okay.
Can you define me? What's a psychic and what's your ability as a psychic?
Great. So a psychic is someone who is able to intuitively read beyond the veil. So I'm sure you've heard of the third eye, and I'm sure lots of you have heard of the third eye.
Can you explain that for people who don't know about it?
Great. So the third eye, we have a brain. Did you all know that we have a brain? Just hold on for a minute. Does everyone know that we've got
Some people can't find it. I'll tell you that. Some people can't find it or use it. You know, so
funny. So in our brain is what's called the pineal gland. The pineal gland is teeny tiny. It is the size of a pea. So this pineal gland is active. When it's activated, it is activated as the third eye. And if you go back into like Egyptian scripts, and there's so much history showing that the third eye actually allows us to get into other dimensions. Ooh. So I love utilizing the third eye because it allows us to see beyond what we're currently seeing. Like our hands, our table, everything is matter, right? And when we see our imagination, we are able to see beyond the veil. So in the simplest way I can describe it, being psychic can come in many different forms. So there's different clairs that are out there. So clairvoyant is someone that sees things. So my strongest gift and ability is clairvoyant. So I see things. So when I'm tuning in, I like to call it my alien. When I'm tuned into my alien, when I'm channeling the light language, when my eyes are flickering to the back of my head, what happens is when my third eye is fully connected, I'm able to see things. So it may be that I see memories. It may be that I see numbers. It may be that I see symbols. It may be that whatever it is that I see, I can then create like a language with my guides and then know what it is that I'm saying to the person in a reading, if that makes sense. So my strongest ability is definitely clairvoyant. And I only choose to turn it on when I'm actually doing a psychic reading, because remember I told you about Apple? Mm-hmm. Fuck, it got intense. Like it would be that I was walking down the street and I was getting messages for like every Tom, Dick and Harry, and I was like, you know what? This is too much, and this is quite invasive.
Yeah, but is it like, can you read their mind? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm going to say no like that, because not necessarily, right? Mm-hmm. That is a skill that I'm actually unsure if someone can fully read someone else's mind. It's like we can hear thoughts, and that would be clairaudient, right? When we're tuning into what we can hear is another clear. So no, I can't read minds. It's funny though. I'm like, glitching. Can I not? Because there's sometimes
that questioning. Can I read a mind?
There is sometimes that I think I can, and I'm like, I'm inside your fucking head, you know.
Damn, this place is terrible. I'm getting out of here. Yeah, you don't want to be inside a bunch of people's heads.
No, and it becomes so invasive. So when I first started being psychic, I said to my spirit guides, I actually don't want this. This is too intense. How can I set up a way that I don't have to do this all the time? So then they said, great, before a psychic reading or before you're going in somewhere where you want to read the room, then set the intention. I kind of like set up a meeting and like a contract with them. Sounds so funny. Yeah. So I bring all my spirit guides into the room. I've got about 10 that I work with, and I hold their hands, and then I said to them, okay, great. Before I start a psychic reading, I would like to tune into the person's energy. I want them to actually say their full name, and then I will get given, let's say, access to their energy. Mm-hmm. Because otherwise, yeah, it was just getting too much for me, actually. And it started being that spirits would wake me up in the middle of the night, and I was like, this is not what I signed up for. Like, fuck. When I started my spiritual awakening, I did not sign up to be woken up at 3 a.m. to a whole bunch of spirits at my bed. This is fucking crazy, you know?
Wait. Can we do any of that right now?
We can. It does take me about 10 minutes to tune in though, so...
I'm happy to do that. I mean, I need to know, like, what can you do? What can you tell, like...
Okay.
I don't want to ruin it because I've never done any of it.
Yeah. So it depends what comes through for the person. Sometimes, quite often what happens is there's a sort of problem in their life that I need to find solution, and that's why their guides have sent them to me. Mm-hmm. So it's more like they've come to me because they've got a problem, or they're feeling lost, or they're feeling stuck. And so what I can do is give them clarity on what direction they're going. Mm-hmm. I always say this as well, is that there's free will. So I can tell you something, but you can then change it based on the fact that you, in this 3D reality, you can then say, actually, I don't want to do that. However, I've had quite a lot of psychic readings that I've been pretty bang on about, and I've been able to help them quite a lot.
So what about someone that is a champion, that is dominating, that knows exactly what he wants out of life, that is working hard to make it happen? What about us?
What about you guys?
I want to know, do you use this skill just to help people that have problems?
Well, it's more so the other people that have come to me in the past.
Okay.
Yeah, I've actually, and even then, people that are athletes and amazing and are so fucking, they've got their shit together. Yeah. I'm sure they still have
their shit together.
Who's got their shit together these days? Yeah. We all have our shit together, right? What does that even mean? Yeah. So I suppose there's still, some sort of worry that they may have, or some sort of doubts, or whatever it may be. I can still bring them back into
alignment.
They're back into alignment. Hey, this could be what you could do better. Or quite often what happens is, in a reading, I'll get shown memories of my own experiences, and then I have to link it to their experiences. So, for instance, a few months ago, I had a psychic reading with a lady. This was very strong. I had a discussion with my little sister on Christmas Day, right? And I was getting shown the memory of me and my sister having this discussion. And what happened was, this lady, I could see and sense her sister around her. I couldn't necessarily fully see her sister, but it was more like of a sensory thing. And I said to her, are you having discussions with your sister at the moment? And she said, yeah, absolutely. And then from there, what happened was, then the next message came in, then the next message. So it kind of was like a domino. Think about all the dominoes like lining up. And one message will come in, then the next message, then the next message. And it's also like, if I don't say the message, then the next message won't come through. So sometimes when I have to say what I'm thinking or what's in my mind, even though sometimes it doesn't make any sense to me. So another reading I was in, I was seeing all these green tree frogs. I'm like, what does a fucking green tree frog represent to me? I was trying to think of like what kind of meaning it has, what does it symbolize, and I'm like, all I can think about is ribbit. Yeah. I had no context.
Yeah.
And I just said to the girl, what do green tree frogs mean to you? And she literally like started crying. I was like, okay, pretty meaningful. And she said, it's my niece. It's all about my niece. Yeah. And then the next message came through. So I can definitely do a reading. I need to like tune in. Yeah. However, if you want to.
Let's do it. I'm keen to know like what is this?
Great. I haven't actually.
Do I have to close my eyes? Or?
No, you can open your eyes or close your eyes. Yeah. I'll be a couple of minutes. Sorry, I forgot to tell you that I'll be a couple of minutes. Okay. I'm getting shown lots of pictures of you exploring. and flying, like wanting to fly. So have you been skydiving recently, or do you want to go skydiving? Has it been a desire?
I want to get my skydiving license.
Yeah,
this year.
Very strong. My guides are like, yes, tell him to do it. That's going to give him like the next step. It's almost like this freeing sense that you can just go, you know, that letting go. And in that, there will be a job opportunity for you. And I'm getting shown a lake. And so from now, like I'll also explain what's going on in my head, right? They're showing me a lake and I'm like, cool, that has no context to me. So then I'm telepathically communicating to them saying, can you give me the next sign, or can you give me the next step, or what else is coming on, like what else is coming up? And of course it's different for every psychic. Every psychic sees different things as well, you know. Someone really dear to you, there's like a treasure, like there's someone really close to you is coming. Do you have a loved person coming up from overseas?
No.
Okay. It may drop in.
Potentially my family, though, that I haven't seen in 7 years.
Yeah.
But we still haven't,
confirmed it?
Yeah.
I feel
I'm just hoping this will be the year.
Yeah. This year will be the year. Yeah.
This is the year.
This is the year, yeah. It's like, so that's interesting, right? The way I received that message was I got shown a lake, and then I was shown to go underneath the lake where there's a treasure chest, and then in the treasure chest was like loved ones. And so that's then how I received the message of your loved ones are coming here. And then I asked, is it this year? And my guide said yes. So fascinating, isn't it? It's not your typical, like when you think about psychic, right? For me, when I first thought about being psychic, this is not how I thought it was going to be. I had no idea that I would receive messages this way. I kind of thought I would see a big person, the person would stand there and then I would talk to them. Because I'm also a medium too, right? So sometimes spirits will come through.
Oh shit, okay.
Holy shit.
Wait, we'll get to that one as well.
And sometimes too, you know, I don't see an actual person as like you are matter, you are a person, like you've got bones and meat on you, right? Sometimes I see it as like a ghostly person, and then there's actually one of my clients I'm teaching psychic development to at the moment. She voice noted me on the way here and she's like, I think I'm starting to see things, but I'm only seeing things in my third eye. I'm not necessarily seeing it in real life. Is that real? And I said, yes. So it doesn't necessarily have to be that you see it as like I can physically touch something. It can be that you're imagining it. And this is why ages ago today 20 minutes ago when I said the imagination, it's because when we were younger we were told to stop using our imagination, yet actually our psychic development and our psychic skills and abilities is super important for the imagination. Our imagination is beyond the veil. And so one of the first things I do when I teach psychic development is I say, did you have an imaginary friend when you were younger? Or could you imagine things being everywhere? And they were like, yeah, my imagination was so powerful. And I was like, yeah, because your third eye wasn't calcified. Oh my God. So when we calcify our third eye, we stop seeing beyond the veil. And so now a lot of us, you know, becoming conscious, we are starting to awaken our third eye. And that's what it basically means, is we are able to see our imagination again. And our imagination is real.
Oh, okay. Yes. That makes perfect sense now with the third eye and imagination. Okay.
Yeah. And so, I don't know, did you ever have an imagination, an imaginary friend when you were younger?
If I ask my mom, she'll probably say like, look, you were
probably.
A weird kid. Yeah, probably
You're a weird
talking
kid.
to myself or something. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
And so that there, because your vibration's so high as a child, because you haven't had so much programming and haven't had the abandonment wounds and the whatever else wounds you've got, you know, the trauma, let's say, that lower our vibration, you've got a higher vibration mixed with an open third eye, you're fully able to see spirits in the other realms.
Wait a second. Wait, before I forget.
Okay.
These like spiritual guys that you're saying.
Yeah.
What are they?
Yes. Oh, my favorite conversation.
Explain that.
So we all have our own spiritual team. Okay, now they can consist of loved ones that have passed, ancestors, spirit animals, spirit guides. Now, spirit guides can come in all sorts of forms. I have a big, tall, grey alien. His name is Alf, like Alf on a shelf. And he's this massive, tall, grey alien, and he's got 3 fingers. And he is so beautiful. He has guided me for the last probably 5 years. Every decision I've made has been based on the fact that I'll check in with Alf and be like, should I do this or should I not do this? And he's like, this is the one, do this, you know. He has been so helpful. I have many different spirit guides. One of my other spirit guides is a Palladian being, which is a starseed. So Palladian is a alien race or a starseed race, if you will. And he looks like a human. In fact, he's hot.
Are you fucking your spirit guide?
Is that a thing? I don't know.
Can you even do that?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But he's really good looking. And when I first met him, I was like, hello. Isn't it a shame that you're up there and I'm down here?
Oh, this is so good.
It sounds whack, right? Yeah. And it's just so real.
Mm.
And so he wears kind of like the spaceman suit with a little blue label that says Jakan, which is his name. And like a little blue, it's kind of, I don't even know how to describe it, like an actual spacesuit. It's white with a blue collar and a blue name tag. And I was like, well, hello there, Jakan.
What are you here to tell me?
What are you here to tell me? So, look, all our spirit guides are different. They can come in different forms. They can be humans. They can be aliens. They can be loved ones. It can be, all spirit guides are different. Now, some spirit guides can stay with you for your whole entire life. Some can come in based on a contract that you have. So Alf, for instance, him and I have had a few lifetimes together. So we are all, just in case you guys didn't know this, now you know this, we're all eternal beings that have had many, many, many lifetimes, right? Do you have that belief system?
We're going to have to dive into that too. Oh my God.
We're going to be here for a few hours, guys.
Yeah, this is fascinating. Okay.
Great. I love that. Thank you. So we've all had lots of different lifetimes. We've had lifetimes on Earth. We've had lifetimes in alien realms. We've had lifetimes probably as fairies or goblins, whatever you would want to believe that you can see or believe that is out there. I'm telling you, it's probably out there. I've seen a lot of fucking weird things. I've got a couple of pet dragons, guys. Yeah. It's weird, you know. Yeah. And so your spirit guide, for instance, Alf, my spirit guide, we've had a couple of lifetimes together, and we made a contract before we came into Earth that he would help me my whole entire life. It's just that I tuned in about 5 years ago to him. And when I first met him, I couldn't stop crying. It was like that passion, that love you have for your family, that you're just like, I love you so much. It was like that. Yeah. And I couldn't believe the amount of love that I had for this being that is, if you will, my imagination.
Yeah, okay.
And so when I started connecting to him, he said to me, like, you're going to help other people connect to their guides. And I was like, how am I going to do that? And so he kept leaving these breadcrumbs out for me, and I just kept eating them. And now here we are. And now I actually teach people to connect to their guides. That is one of the main things that I do.
With how does this connect to the medium thing, being a medium? And what's that like? How does it all connect?
Being psychic means you receive messages, or that you can see, let's say, into the future, or you can see things that are going on for the person in their current life. Perhaps you can see into their past lives, which I can also do, and then you can see into their future. Being a medium means you can see spirits that have, humans that have died. So, for instance, one of my friends passed away last week, actually.
I'm sorry.
And thank you. And my house alarm went off at 4 a.m. in the morning, like full on fire alarm. And I wake up and I'm like, is there a fire? No, there's not. And he's standing there. And I'm like, do I need to cross you over? And then I tuned into it and I was like, yes, I do. And so I just said to my guides, please give him the help to let him cross over. And it was as easy as that. And so this is now my normal, right? And I remember hearing stories like this and being like, fuck, that person's so cool. I can't believe they can do that. I want to do that. And I just really had this desire to be a medium and this desire to be a psychic. I never knew it was possible for me. However, we all have these abilities and we have been told that we don't. And so we then choose to believe other people's belief systems, right? So, you know, I always say this, whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right.
You're right.
You're right. Right? Yes. Right. And so that belief system will carry out whether or not you want to or believe in dragons, whether you want to or believe you can see ghosts or spirits. And for me, as soon as I opened up to this ability, or opened up to the idea of it, I was like, I believe in everything. I believe I can see all sorts of weird aliens. I believe I can go on a spaceship. I believe it. I believe, you know, I believe. Yeah. And it was as easy as that. The belief system carried me out, that certainty, and then everything just kind of started happening. And I was like, this is crazy, and I love it, you know.
According to your belief system,
yes,
what happens after we die?
Great question. So I believe that when we die, our soul goes into the next realm. What happens is our spiritual team, so our spirit guides, angels, ancestors, they all come and they kind of go through you did good, you didn't do good in these sort of things. So we kind of give you a little brief. Okay, Nelson, you really fucked up here. So you didn't give this lesson a go like you should have. Okay, actually, you've done this really, really well. So proud of you. You've conquered that lesson. Cross that off. And what happens is we go through the contracts or the karmic debts that we had from this current lifetime. And then it's like, okay, cool. Now where will you go? You might go into like a spirit school and learn how to do things better. You might go into having an alien or a starseed life in somewhere else. You may get sent back down to Earth. You may just get sent to hang out up there. So that's what I believe happens. Now, everyone has their own belief system, of course. With the spirits that I've connected to, with the beings that I work with, that is a brief, I suppose, synopsis of what I've been shown. And I do work with quite a lot of extraterrestrial beings on the other side that I can communicate with, that tell me quite a lot of cool stuff. So
okay,
yeah,
this is I know. That's a big idea. Expand into that. Oh my god, we keep peeling layers and layers. It's like, wait, what's that? What's that?
So when I first
before I forget, does this has like a name, let's say like religion or whatever, like does this
is whatever you want to call it, babe?
Yeah. Okay.
This is Natalie. Welcome to the Natalie Show.
All right.
So starseeds, they're my favorite things to talk about because I'm so connected to them, and that's why I call my business Starseed Society. So when I first started channeling light language, I then started getting visited by beings. They like to be called beings. The beings that I work with like to be called beings, not aliens, okay? I was told off by them a couple of times. You can't be calling me aliens. I'm like, aliens, sorry. And it's because the perception that we have on this in this earth realm is that aliens are going to take over the world, right? And actually, they come in peace, you know? And so this is just like another little tangent. In my community, when I'm building my Starseed Society tribe, I always do this because when I first saw my first real being, they did this to me. And I was like, oh my God, Star Trek's right, you know? I was like, this is fucking nuts. I was like, gobsmacked. I was like,
I'm dying. It's so good.
And I was so fascinated. I was like, and for days I was just like, this is real. And so now, whenever I do group coaching or whenever I run the events, the first thing I do, I'm like, can everyone please greet me like this? And whenever I do, like selfies or anything now, I'm like, hey, this is how I connect with you. So, okay, let's go back. So my first, again, it was the belief system that I could do it, right? So I was actually doing Reiki healings at this point. I thought, I'm going to be a healer. Woo, I'll do Reiki. And so I started doing Reiki healings, and this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful girl came in and she said to me, I'm getting an intuitive message to tell you that you can speak light language. And I'm like, I haven't tried to speak light language in ages. I'm going to give it a go tomorrow. So the next day, sure enough, woke up, sat in meditation, and then just said to my guides, I think I'm ready to speak light language. I set the intention to speak light language, and then bang, it just came through. And then I was like, whoa, I've got the gift. I've got the gift. Whoa, oh my God, I've done it. I was crying. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then that afternoon, I went to the beach and I wanted to ground because I knew that light language was very galactic, and it can be very up here and very high vibe. And so I was like, I'm going to go to the beach and just ground. And so I was fascinated with learning about all the starseeds, fascinated with hearing. Have you ever heard of Dolores Cannon?
I don't think so, no.
Okay, so she's a spiritual entrepreneur. She's wildly successful, and she's created this technique called QHHT. So it stands for Quantum Healing Hypnosis Technique. And for years I wanted to study that. What she does is she allows people to tap into their past lives for them to see it. And I had a session with a lady that did QHHT on me. And I was able to go into one of my past lives where I was an avatar and I had a dragon. Wild. And I really wanted to speak light language. So light language had been in my field for a very long time. And so had different random beings. When I meditated, I thought it was just my imagination for a very long time. And so coming back to the beach, I was on the beach and all I did was set the intention to speak to the Palladian collective. And I had done a lot of research on it. I'd literally gone down every rabbit hole that you could think about every bloody starseed and every alien race and every starseed race. So I thought, I was quite educated by YouTube University. Thank you, YouTube University. I love you. And I had gathered all this knowledge. I'm sitting in meditation and I set the intention to channel the Palladian collective through me. That's the first time I ever intuitively decided to do that. And it quite literally felt like something coming in from the back of my neck and into my body, and my voice dropped and I went like this, and my body started to turn, and I was like, oh my God, and then my brain inside, this being was inside me, and my brain was like, there's something inside me. And I was like, wow, this feels so beautiful. I had no fear. I just knew it was pure love at the highest vibration. And then I just said, I just kind of communicated to the being telepathically, what do I need to know? Or, why have you come through? And she had a full message for me. And I can't remember her name off the top of my head anymore. This is like 2 years ago. Anywho. And she delivered me the message that I was going to, this is well before Starseed Society was birthed. You were going to lead your tribe of Starseeds internationally. And I was thinking to myself, I'm just a Kiwi chick from New Zealand that grew up on a farm, babe. I don't know about you.
That sounds too much.
That's too much for me. And sure enough, I kept connecting to the Palladian collective. And then I thought, well, if I can connect to the Palladian collective, surely I could connect to the Syrian collective and the Octurian collective. Surely I'm powerful enough. And this is where the belief system comes in, right? I'm so powerful. Actually, I'm sure I could speak to different aliens, is what I was thinking to myself. And sure enough, slowly but surely, I spoke to almost every single Starseed collective, and I started connecting to them all the time, to the point where it was just like a portal had opened. And it was like I was fully telepathic with them. As soon as I would sit in meditation, they would be there. And then, I don't know if this is too much, guys, on a podcast. Then I started going on spaceships.
Wait.
Okay, back it up. Natalie. All right.
Expand. You cannot just tell me you've been on a spaceship without expanding.
I know.
Explain this.
I was able to... So the message came through from the Syrian collective that I'm actually a Syrian being. And so this is when the whole... I call myself an alien, and I truly do believe that my being is very alien. Like, I like to say I'm an alien based on the fact that the connection I have to the Syrian collective is so strong. I can channel Syrian light language like it's my first language. And it is so intense and it is so pure. And it's like this knowing that I've always had that I've just never believed. And so I first started seeing these Syrian beings, and they're big, blue, alien-looking beings. Love you guys. And they started to come to me in like rows of them. And they said to me, we want you to connect. And I'm like, hey, I'm already connecting to you, aren't I? And they were like, no, we're going to take you up. And I was like, cool. What the fuck does that mean, you know? Cool. And so they had said this to me over a couple of different meditations, and I thought, yeah, okay. And then one night I was sleeping, and Jakan, my other spirit guide, came to me and said, you need to wake up and connect. And I thought, okay, check the time. It's 3 a.m. in the morning. I get up, I sit by my bed, so my back's leaning up, because sometimes if I'm in a meditation for like an hour, you know, my back gets awesome sitting there. And I just have this intuitive guidance it's a technique in which I teach, by the way, guys, to do this random technique that came to me. I go up into the universe, see what's called a gatekeeper, and then quite literally this spaceship turned up in front of me. And at this point, I was fully conscious in my body on the ground. And then all of a sudden, my eyes start flickering so much to the point where they were like flickering up and down, up and down, up and down. It was almost like I was just like blinking. And my face, this is going to look really ugly, my face started doing this real weird thing. And my body started to almost like go into itself. And my whole consciousness left my body. And I quite literally was sitting on that spaceship, and I could feel my body down there in pain. And I said to the Syrian collective, you have to help my body. And they went, zoom. And my body, opposed to it being like, it was kind of a bit more, I was still meet, but I wasn't like meet. You know what I mean? I wasn't all the way down here. I was just a bit up here. And so what happened was I was on the spaceship for what it felt like to me for hours. However, it probably was only like 10 minutes. When I came back into my body, my eyelids were so incredibly sore, and my vision was almost gone for like 10 minutes. I actually was scared that I was going to go blind. Yeah. That's how real it was. I was like, fuck, you know, what was going through my mind is, who can I tell about this that won't judge me and think I'm actually just losing the plot? And B, was it really real? And then I was like, yes, it is. That was the most real thing I've ever done. It's just like me walking down the street or me eating whatever it is, you know. That was so real to me. And so what it actually did scare me, though, about not being able to see, because I was thinking, if I keep doing this, am I going to go blind? You know, like, it was a true fear. You know, you imagine, honestly, opening your eyes and not being able to see properly. I was like, whoa. And then I realized that the frequency was just so high for my being, for my human being. And then my guide said to me, you need to go raw vegan. And then I started researching raw vegan, and it is only live food. So no cooking of anything, vegetables, of anything fruit. It's literally just eating raw fruit and veggies. And I did that for about a month, and then I started doing the spaceship thing again. Because at that point I thought my body would be able to handle the vibration in which I need to radiate it to be on these spaceships. So then it became like my...
What's the purpose of being on this spaceship, though?
To access information that I need to help humanity.
Okay, what kind of information can that be? An example.
An example at the moment, at that stage, I was learning a lot about COVID. So, you know, whether you're vaccinated, whether you're unvaccinated, what the whole situation is there. And everyone's totally entitled to their own belief system. I was getting updates on what was really going on. And so, what was really going on for the collective and how I can best help them and how I can best support the collective. And this led me into, actually wanting to be a coach, because I still didn't believe that I was worthy enough to be a coach at this point. So probably my 10th spaceship, the Syrian Collective actually had books. They said, create this mental image in your mind. Spaceship, big silver desk with quite literally chairs like this all around it.
They buy them in IKEA.
Oh my God, they probably do.
Aliens go to IKEA.
Oh my God, yes. So I'm sitting there and they have all these books in front of me and they start throwing these books at me. They're like, get your fucking coaching business up and running. Like, you're supposed to help people.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be helping people already. And I was too in my own head thinking that I wasn't good enough to be able to help people, that I was still fucking around. I wasn't actually doing the things. So then as soon as I've been fully guided. My whole business has been fully guided now. So, I was guided to go to Bali in December, and I was guided to go to a sound bowl healing where another spirit guide came to me and said, this is your new mentor. You need to follow her. She's going to help you create these events. And then I sat in meditation and asked my guides and asked the Syrian Collective, what's the next step? And they said, you're going to host these events that are going to help people create their mission. All the starseeds have missions on Earth. So you need to create these events which can help people channel through their mission. And I was like, oh my God, crying. I'm like, thank you. I'm so grateful. I will do this. Yeah. So
wait a second. I want to know something, because a lot of people will be listening to this and they'll be like, there's no way that's real, or they will call bullshit or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that I've never been into like the psychic world or anything like that. So, but I'm guessing there will be a lot of charlatans. So
there's a lot of what, sorry?
Charlatans. So people that are
fakes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So how can someone tell, like, okay, this person is real, everything they're saying, or no, look, that's bullshit. Even in their own world of videography, mentors and stuff, people promising like, we guarantee we'll take you to make millions with your video business and all this stuff. Like, so you have to go through the bullshit and find the people that actually can help you get to the next level and all these things. So in this case, how can people differentiate from people that, like, from someone that is just complete bullshit to someone that is actually real? Yeah,
that's such a valid question, because in this industry there are a lot of I suppose fake people. However, it's funny, I've never ran into or come across someone that's fake. I think that's a perception is projection sort of situation. I have heard of a lot of people getting scammed and stuff online. However, I feel like if you know the person's story and you can listen to their story without having your walls up and saying, that's bullshit, that's fake, that's bullshit, and actually listen to where they've come from, you'll find that people, to get these kind of gifts at this age, like me that has awoken to it, I had to go through a lot of fucking hard work to get here. If people saw the amount of hours that I put into meditation and the amount of hours that I've put into coaching and healing my trauma and getting through my own shit, getting out of my own way to be able to actually do this, they'd be proud of me, and that's for every healer and every intuitive and every psychic and every person that speaks, because there's a lot of people that now speak to aliens. It's just, in my awareness, I know heaps of people because they've come into my awareness, right? And I'm like, oh my God, I get you, you get me, oh my God,
Yeah.
One I would say, keep a really open mind, because you never know someone's story and you never know how they've gotten to where they are. And if you're fake, you'll attract fake. If you're true and you're authentic and you wholeheartedly, then that's what you will attract. And that's why I say, like before, I don't really know that many people that are fake. I've heard about it online, especially like on TikTok. I went viral a couple of times, and then I had heaps of fake accounts made of me, and people kept messaging me being like, Nat, is this a fake account? And I was like, whoa, what's going on? You know? And so that sort of thing, I was disheartened by that. And then a mentor said to me, babe, you've made it. You're famous. You know, once you have a fake account made of you, you're famous. I'm like, yes,
you're legit. You're only legit once someone makes a fake account of you.
I'm like, yeah, I had like 10 made of me. I'm like, this is nuts. But I would say keep an open mind and ask them for their backstory. How did you get to be psychic? How did you get to be intuitive? A really, really successful psychic that I know, she was fully opened up to her gifts when she was younger, and her parents helped her harness it. They didn't shut her down. They didn't say, no, that's silly, da-da-da. So she's been able to fully harness her psychic abilities, and throughout her life, she's been able to get more and more and more intuitive. With someone like me, my parents were super open and would have harnessed it, I suppose, if I talked about it more as a kid. Just with life, it just was one of those things that I never got into until 5 years ago. And it's funny, actually. I saw a psychic. I've always been really interested in seeing psychics, though. When I was 17, I saw a psychic, and she told me by the time I was 32, I would own a really successful spiritual business that would impact the world. And I never believed her until...
How old are you now?
I'm 28. Yeah. And so I'm definitely on mission. Next year, we'll take the business totally international. And, yeah, by the time I'm 32, I'll live out that timeline that she saw.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Cool.
And you mentioned something very important, open-minded.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the greatest skills you can develop, having an open mind.
Same.
With everything. Just hearing backstory, like you were saying, and actually being curious and all this stuff without jumping to judge, which is what average human will do. Just judge, whatever, instead of like getting to know a bit more of the concept. That doesn't mean you have to agree with everything someone's saying. That doesn't mean you have to suddenly change all your belief system, but you should question all your beliefs. I'm constantly questioning everything, because I realized I was programmed since day one, right?
And this is the Matrix programming.
Yeah, exactly. They program you with all this bullshit stuff, so you're part of the system. And once you learn one or two concepts, you're like, okay, I need to now question everything. Right? So these days I question everything, and even when I'd say program a new belief or something, I have to consistently check on that. I have to consistently, because beliefs also evolve. This is another thing. Just like a business will evolve, you will start as a freelance or whatever, and then eventually you realize like, oh, maybe it's better if I do this not as a freelancer, but a video production business or whatever, and then you start evolving your little idea. Same with YouTube. If you decide to be a content creator or whatever, you can that concept of what you thought YouTube was and you should do as a creator will evolve. And it will only do so if you allow yourself to have an open mind, be adaptable, and obviously like learn from the industry itself. I want to bring this back to the mission thing, because I think that's very important for people to find their purpose and have clarity. I think it's not so much about finding. I don't know. I feel like in the past I would have said like, oh, finding your purpose is super hard. Yeah. But now with everything I know, I actually don't think it's hard. No. My own belief of that regarding to that is I think people, like you were saying before, people don't meditate or they don't do this or whatever. It's like they can't even handle to be with themselves. Yeah. They're scared to listen to their thoughts. Yes. They're scared to confront the reality that maybe they're lazy, maybe they are with a person that they don't love, maybe they're unhappy in their jobs. I think that's what happens, that most people don't actually sit down with themselves. And I haven't done it personally, meditating itself, but I think a lot. Spend a lot of time thinking, just figuring out like, okay, where am I going? Questioning again beliefs. Why am I doing this? Okay, that reflects back to the mission, and I formulate a plan, and now it's always easy to know where I'm going. I'm not a sheep that just left shore and it has no idea where he's going. He's gonna get lost at sea. I have a clear plan. I know exactly how that island looks like. I know how success looks like for me. Cool. So I know my subconscious is now putting all the action and behavior behavior behind it, paired
Yep.
with my discipline,
Great.
you know, and my consistency,
Yep.
and the belief that I've accomplished
do
to
it.
acquire, that I can do it, that anything
Yes.
is possible. That
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So that has taken me a long time to develop. But when I look at it, it's not really that hard to find your purpose or anything.
No.
So what do you find is the most common issue of why people don't have a mission or a purpose, or why they don't have clarity in their lives?
I believe most of the time it comes back to I'm not good enough. There's this belief system in them that says I'm not good enough, or I'm not worthy to do this, or I'm not worthy to do that. And so what ends up happening is they then talk themselves out of, or they self-sabotage, or they judge themselves, and they backpedal on what it is that they actually want to do. And sometimes they have this amazing idea and they're like, oh, I could do this. And then it's like, oh, nah, I actually won't. There's a few things that come into play. The main thing is I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy. The second thing that I hear a lot and that I have to get through a lot with my clients is the judgment of others, and it's the judgment of self. So they're actually judging themselves if they do it. So, you know, when I first started going on spaceships, right, I could have fully judged myself that this is happening to me. I surrendered, I trusted, and I had faith. Those three things allowed me to open myself up and to be like, you know what? Fuck it. Here I am, universe. Take me, you know? And this is what I always say to my clients. You have to hold the faith that you are worthy. And then this is the belief system that comes in, that you can believe anything that you want to. It's like you were saying before, like that laser focus. You know the island that you're going to. You can swim. You can go over any wave, you know, any obstacle that comes in your way. You know you can get there because you're committed. And so then this is the third thing that comes in. Based on people's track records, sometimes they've said they're going to do something and then they haven't followed through with it, so that they lack commitment to self, so that they actually don't. Then this is another belief system. They don't believe that they can do it. Because in the past, they haven't committed. In the past, they haven't done this. In the past, they haven't done that. And so then they're just like, oh, well, what's the point in giving it a go? And so when I coach people, when I work with people, it's like, how can we bring you totally back into alignment? How can we find you something that's you're so super passionate about that no matter fucking what, you will train yourself to be okay with it because you want it so badly. And it's like, I was so shit scared of speaking on stage to the point where I had to be hypnotized to speak on stage. I knew that I could impact more people being on stage. So I found a way to do it. I was committed to the process. I got hypnotized and now I love being on stage. And so, but I had that laser focus. I had that belief system that I can help more people if I get on stage. So what do I need to do to be able to achieve that? Okay. You know, you have that desire, and then you kind of work backwards. What are the steps that I need to do to be able to get there?
Yeah.
And for people that are really lost in not knowing their purpose, it's like the first question I would ask them is, what are you truly deeply, deeply passionate about? Go deeper. What are you then passionate about? Go deeper. What are you then passionate about? And allow that passion to drive you. You know, when we were younger, my mum used to always say to me, or people used to always say to me, what do you want to be when you grow up? And it was what you were passionate about. That's what you wanted to be. And now as an adult, we have just decided to throw that out of the window just because we wanted to make money because we're in the matrix and we have to get a job. And so it's like, how can you come back to self? When you were a little kid, what did you want to be? What did you want to be when you grow up? Are you an adult now? What do you want to be when you grow up, you know? And so it's that passion, that desire. Passion and desire will propel you forward. Passion and desire will motivate you. Passion and desire will get you the results.
Yeah.
And when you have passion and desire, it's not really like working. Like I never feel like I actually work a hard job. Do you?
Here's what I tell to people.
Okay.
Once you find that thing that you want to do, it's not like life becomes rainbows and butterflies. It actually will get harder. the way I see it will get harder is because depends on how far you want to take it, though.
Right.
Because let's say if my goal was just to make a living with what I do, which I accomplished so I'm a dentist. I stopped,
actually?
Yeah. So I'm a fully qualified dentist that dropped everything.
Have nice teeth.
Thank you.
You're
You too. That quit everything to pursue this crazy thing of making content.
Passion.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So, due to as well, like having some bad things, like having the loss of someone dear to me, which is another thing that I've noticed in people. People don't take action until they have a very traumatic event happening that inspires the action.
Yep.
Or something,
Totally.
yeah, like a close to death, near to death experience, or something like that. People don't take action. They take life for granted. So that pulled me out of their hamster wheel. You know, that happening over 6 years ago now.
Yeah.
It's more important to know the what, like you were saying, than the how.
Yeah.
The how will come to you.
It'll totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Will come to you. It will reveal to you. You will figure it out. Because once you tell your subconscious, that's what I've been learning. Like this is also not like random shit. This is actually proven by studies. Like if you tell your subconscious, yourself, what do you want? You make a plan for it. You're feeding the information to the subconscious, which is working for you most of the time without even knowing.
Runs 90 to 95% of your programs. Yep.
Exactly. So the actions and behaviors that you need to take in order to achieve whatever you want will come to you naturally.
Totally.
You know, and through trial and error and those things. What I tell people is that pursuing your passion, it's very difficult at the beginning. That's why most people, I think, don't do it as well, because you'll get pushback.
Yeah.
So I had a gazillion people tell me how I was being stupid for
and
dropping
this is the
dentistry.
second thing, the judgment thing that I said.
Yeah.
This is what stops people.
Bunch of people told me like, why would you do that? You're a dentist, you should not do that. People that laugh at you because they're also projecting that they're not brave enough to do, you know, to pursue their thing, or they think everything is impossible. I recently made a video about this, like cleaning your circle, because your circle is extremely important to help you become successful or achieve whatever you want to achieve. But yeah, basically the point is, also another thing that you were saying is the confidence, right? And the belief that you can do something. What I tell people is that you need to build a reputation with yourself.
Yep.
That's the secret to actually believe you can do something. Yes. If you build a reputation of who you say you are, you have undeniable proof that you are who you say you are. Of course, you will have a belief that you can achieve anything you want. Of course, you will be unstoppable. You know, like, but you have to work on that reputation. Did you wake up at 5 a.m. when you said you were going to do it? Did you start the diet when you said you're going to do it? Did you stick to the gym when you said you were going to be training? Did you fulfill your promises that you make to your client? Did you deliver on time? Were you on time? Did you deliver the highest possible result that you can achieve for your client?
Great.
You know, that it all comes down to the little things. The little things make the difference to the whole belief. That's what I've learned in my own experience.
And then with that, you learn to trust yourself deeper, right? And then you build more of a beautiful connection to yourself. Yeah. And then when you're super connected to yourself and you're fully in alignment, then the universe is like, all right, what door would you like to open next? Here's another one. Here's another one. Here's another one, right? Yeah. And it's like this beautiful unfolding of, you just know where to go. And then you build more certainty within yourself that then will just continue to drive you. Yeah. How
can we give, what can you tell to someone, a creative entrepreneur that currently is a bit lost, maybe is trying too many things, he hasn't committed to one thing, like what practical advice can you give to them to get back into alignment and get some clarity in their pursuit?
I would say the first things first is allow yourself to meditate. Take yourself to a beach, take yourself, somewhere where it's really comfortable for you. Drop into a beautiful meditation. Allow yourself to turn your green heart chakra on. Your green heart chakra is the same size as an orange. And then drop into your heart space. All you need to do is set the intention to find out exactly what you want in life. Setting the intention locks in a law with the universe. And when you do that, you'll be able to receive messages, you'll be able to receive that guidance, it'll be able to propel you forward into whatever you want or you truly desire. So I always set the intention to get a car spot, or I set the intention to have an awesome conversation, or whatever it is for the day. I set my intentions every morning. If you meditate, drop into your heart space and then set the intention, it will become clear to you what you really, truly want. The next thing I would say is follow your passion. When you were a child, someone asks you, what did you want to be when you grow up? Follow that. The inner child, it's there to guide us. Listen.
What are the other services that you offer to your clients and within your business? Can you speak a bit more about that?
Yeah, thank you so much. So I am running the event called What's My Mission event. So it is a half-day event. I help people connect to their spirit guides, channel through their mission, and talk about belief systems in really deep detail. From there, I actually also have a 2-day retreat that will run 3 times a year. So my first retreat is coming up in the middle of April, which is really exciting. It's called The Next Step. So it's 2 days of an intense retraining the unconscious mind, like we just spoke about, really changing your techniques of how you want to show up in this world. And it's some beautiful breath work. I've got some amazing facilitators coming into that space, and I'm really excited to deliver an amazing, impactful 2 days that will completely rewire the unconscious mind. From there, I do 3 types of coaching. So I coach people out of anxiety and depression because truly I've been through so much in my life that I'm so inspired to help people get out of the dark place that they were in. The second thing I coach is spiritual and psychic development. So for people that are healers or intuitives that want to become clearer, or gather or get more better information, I teach that. And then the third thing I do at the moment is I help business entrepreneurs become clearer on their mission, allow them to come back into their self. So we clear out limiting beliefs, anything that is holding them back. And then I channel through, so sort of like a psychic reading, I channel through really where they need to go moving forward. We talk about branding, marketing. We go into deep diving about who their ideal client is, how we can actually attract them. I teach them all of the energetics of business and how I've been able to create extreme wealth in my business so quickly. And that is my favorite, probably my favorite thing to teach and coach, is to really help entrepreneurs make more of an impact in their communities. And then another thing that they can do is, just jump onto my Instagram, my TikTok, or my Facebook. It's Starseed Society 1111. And the reason for the 4 ones is because when I first started my spiritual experience, I started seeing 1111 everywhere. And I was like, what does this 1111 mean, right? And I realized that it was actually a portal. And so the reason I put that up there is because I want to create a portal to magnetize people to me so I can then help them. Because I believe, awesome. Thank you, I believe that my guides will guide people to me. And quite often what happens is people will be like, I kept hearing your name, or I kept having your name pop up. And I'm like, it's my guides doing their thing,
Is this a cheat code though to make more money?
It's pretty cool. Like the synchronicities that they have to find me is wild how it comes up.
That's awesome. Well, what's the biggest amount you have ever made in a month that you were, this is ridiculous?
75,000.
And how did that come out?
So I was able to come fully into alignment, work on exactly what I wanted, what kind of clients I really wanted to work with. And I did no DMs. I'd never DM people. I never call in, I never go out there cold calling people or messaging people. I just sat in meditation, called in my guides and said, bring me the people that need to work with me. I call in all the starseeds that need to work with me, that need to develop their mission to help serve humanity at the highest vibration. I call in those people. And quite literally, $75,000 like that. I was like, great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's crazy. What were you thinking when that happened? What was their reaction?
Okay, so the belief system, how we were talking about this belief system? So I show up every single day with the affirmations that I'm a multimillionaire. And I've been telling myself this for years, that I was a multimillionaire. Had no idea of the how. Remember how you said before about the how? No idea about the how. And I keep saying to myself, I'm a multimillionaire, I'm a multimillionaire, I'm a multimillionaire. And then I realized that to be a millionaire, you needed to make $75,000 a month. So I was like, perfect. I'm going to make $75,000 a month. That's easy. So my belief system was, that's easy.
Yeah.
However, every time I made a sale, I'd be like, oh my God, yeah. You know, like gratitude dance. I'm like, yeah. The biggest thing I love to do is celebrate myself. And
Do you actually do a vibration dance?
yeah, well, I actually get up and I'm like, oh my God, thank you. And then the second thing I do is I always acknowledge my guides, acknowledge the Syrian Collective, acknowledge all of my beings that I work with, and I thank them. Because I'm so grateful that they do a lot of work for me behind the scenes. I always say they're my team. They're doing the work. Thanks, guys. And I always acknowledge them, and I always give them gratitude. And of course, gratitude is such a high vibration. So with that said, you know, I'm going to continue to make more and more money. My goal is now 100K months.
Okay.
And so I'm more than halfway. I'm making that this month already too.
Yes,
so
sick. Good
I'm
job.
like, yeah.
Good job. Yeah, that's awesome.
The vision that I have this year is to make 1.2 million.
1.2 million.
Yeah.
And what happens after that?
Oh, then I make another couple million next year.
Yeah.
And then the intention is to then, you know, with that money, be able to buy a retreat to help heal more people, and to then perhaps, I've got a few projects that I want to do in the future that require me quite a lot of cash to do. So,
What's the best advice you could give to people that want to become financially free?
Focus on your belief system. Your belief system will control everything. Again, whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right.
You're right.
Yeah. So whether you believe you can be a multimillionaire or you believe you can't, you're right. And so by rewiring your unconscious mind, which we've talked about it quite a lot, by rewiring the unconscious mind and holding that belief system that you can be financially free, that's the belief system that then you will hold, that then will play out, and then the universe will conspire around you. So for me, it's a belief system that I know I'm so super worthy of abundance, and I'm fucking incredible, and I'm here to make real impact. So of course, money flows to me easily and effortlessly. And I do say affirmations, and it's so, you know, when I first started mindset work or, you know, self-development, I used to do affirmations. I am beautiful. I am amazing, you know, and I still do that every day. I still tell myself in the mirror every single day, I am beautiful. I am worthy. I'm amazing. I'm phenomenal.
You are.
Thank you so much. You too. And, you know, the more you say it, the more you believe it. Again, like we were saying before, that creates certainty. Certainty allows you, propels you to go forward to create whatever you want to create.
I agree. And I even, to elaborate on that, I think a lot of people think they will accomplish things if they keep them to themselves. I think that was a very popular belief in the old days kind of thing, like don't tell people. And a lot of people still think like that. They say like, oh, don't tell people what you're gonna do, just do it or whatever, which I think is fine. But from my own experience, I've learned that I have to tell the universe what I want.
Exactly.
And I tell my neighbors, they all know I'm gonna be a millionaire. Like,
I tell everyone I'm already a multi-millionaire.
Yeah.
My bank just hasn't shown it yet.
Yeah, exactly. But I genuinely know that literally just hasn't happened. That's all. Yeah. It just hasn't manifested in the physical realm yet. But I just feel like one. I act like one. I talk like one. I think like one. So
same.
Like it's just gonna happen. There's no other option in my head.
Yep.
But I had to train myself to be able to speak comfortable with telling people, I will be a millionaire, or I am a millionaire kind of thing. So yeah, that's another thing I would suggest, that you start telling people what you want, not only to reinforce your belief and to train you to become that person that you want to be, but also because it will put pressure on you.
Yeah.
Because now you told your neighbor Sally,
yeah.
you know, that you're gonna be
Sally
a millionaire.
knows I'm a millionaire. Fuck, I better show up.
Yeah, you better show up because people
Yeah.
keep you accountable. This is one thing that I've seen as well.
Yep.
Even though people don't think about you and all this stuff, people remember what you said.
Yes.
I had someone that came like 6 months ago or something, and she's like, "Oh, you told me you were gonna be a millionaire and this and this and that. Are you there yet?" And it just put me into thinking like, oh, that's awesome. I haven't derailed. I'm still on the journey.
Yeah, baby. I'm
you know,
here.
I
I'm
said,
waiting.
I'm still going for it.
Yeah.
No rush. You know, it's gonna
Yeah.
happen before 35. I said to myself.
Me
but
too. Yep.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it will happen quicker at this rate. So yeah.
Can I suggest something?
Yeah, of course.
If you meet your spirit guides, you might be able to connect to them and ask them for guidance.
Yeah.
So you should come on Sunday morning. I've got my event. You should come.
Yeah. Okay.
Come.
We'll have a
We'll
look
talk
at
about
that. Yeah. What's the hardest obstacle? I'm trying to get to the questions that I normally ask towards the end because it was so interesting in the beginning, but I'm like, I need to bring it back to the people, actionable stuff and things. So, what are 3 pieces of advice that could transform the life of any creative entrepreneur out there that just wants to be great, become financially free, live a life, the life of their dreams? What are 3 pieces of advice that you can give them?
Great question. So firstly, I know we've spoken a lot about belief system, and I truly mean that. I think that's the biggest thing that in my experience with my friends that are multimillionaires or my mentors that are really, really successful, all of them, first things first, they say is belief system. Secondly, you mentioned this earlier, actually, you are who you surround yourself with. So the 5 people you spend your most time with, that is your average, and that is who is going to come into your vibration, right? Third thing, get fucking connected to yourself. If you don't know yourself better than anyone else, how can you show up as the best version of you in your life? And I'm giving you a 4th one. Connect to your higher self, connect to your spirit team. They are truly here to guide you. You have signed contracts with them on the other side. They are here to fully help you.
Yeah, that's awesome. And especially the second one, man. People take this shit lightly. Do not be most people.
This is true stuff, guys. We're doing true stuff here.
Yeah, this one is serious because people don't understand how much impact this shit has in their own lives.
Oh.
You hanging out with a bunch of losers will make you the 6th
loser.
Yeah, you're a loser. There's you cannot tell me and you cannot prove that you hanging out with 5 dudes that are fucking losers will make you a winner or a champion. Not a chance. Because I guarantee you're talking about the same stupid shit every day. You have nothing going on for you. You're lost. You're depressed. You're anxious. You're this. You're that. Everybody else's fault. Everything is impossible. You have people that doubt you. You have the friend that laughs at you when you fail. You have the friend that's talking shit about you, but you keep hanging out with him. You have the people that are just into gossip. You're like, I could go on and on. The list is a million. Find people that are doing the thing that you want to do and that are actually champions.
Yep.
I don't spend my time talking to losers.
Yep.
I don't want to know about them, what they're doing or anything, because I'm not one. I have to relate. I relate to winners and champions. That's what I'm here to do.
Totally.
So my inner circle is people that just want to win.
Same.
That's it.
Same.
That's it. If you're a quitter, that's even worse. I hate quitters. I have nothing to do with you if you're a quitter. So
Same.
man, you have to set standards. Set fucking standards. Become a role model. So you cannot tell someone, you know what? I can't hang out with you with your loser, which by the way, you don't need to. You just need to cut that relationship. You don't need to justify why.
Yeah.
That's
just
another
do
thing,
it.
you know, like
action. Get on with it, guys.
yeah, like just action, create your circle, find the people that you need to be surrounded yourself with.
Yeah.
But also, like, become the role model, you know, like do the things that you say you're going to do. Start building the reputation with yourself. You're going to become more confident. Reprogram your old beliefs. Find the new things. Okay, why do you think you can never become a millionaire? Because I used to be like that. I came from a country where everyone told me, and even my family or whatever, that, you know, we were poor people. kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I had to sit down with myself and reprogram why can I not become financially free? Why can I just have a life full of abundance? You know, all these things. You have to train yourself to get there.
Have you ever read the book called The Secrets of a Millionaire Mind?
No.
Oh my goodness. I read that a few years ago, and that allowed me to look at the blueprint of my money and why I believed that I couldn't be successful. And then it trained me into the belief system of being a millionaire. And all he does is simply touch your head every day and say, I have a millionaire mind. I have a millionaire mind. I have a millionaire mind. And after repetition, you know, the more and more your unconscious mind starts to believe you, then you can actually sink to it and then do the things. So
yeah, agree.
Yes.
What's the worst advice you have ever received?
Don't fucking do that. I have been told so many times, don't put that on social media. Don't tell people you're psychic. When I first came out that I was psychic, right? It was like a coming out. I've come out of the womb, guys. You know,
I'm a psychic.
I'm a psychic. Joke's on you. You didn't know. So actually, when I was going through this whole transition of aliens, spaceships, all the things, I actually took myself off social media. I was off social media for 6 months, and I was totally going within. And when I came out that I was psychic, my old friends messaged me being like, oh, as if you're fucking psychic, as if you've told everyone you're fucking psychic. And like you said before, sorry guys, snip, 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 you know.
Cut.
And I cut most of the people that I was friends with in Melbourne that were still partying, choosing to live their life that way. And I was like, you know what? You people no longer serve me. Or people that are going to text someone, you know, nasty things or bitch about people behind their back. And I was like, this is not in alignment with me anymore. And then a couple of other people had said to me, don't do that. That's fucking stupid. Don't do that. And if I had listened to them, I would not be where I am today. And quite literally, I've been able to achieve so much in 1 year. 1 year of business.
Yeah, it sounds like you're dominating.
I'm dominating. Thank you. And I know where I'm going. I've got incredible mentors that are fully here to support me. I have an incredible belief system that I back myself with every single day. I do the work though. I'm sure you're the same, you know. I get up, I meditate, I do yoga, I listen to podcasts every day. I do breath work. If something comes up in my awareness that I know I need to work out, I don't sit in it and cry for 3 days. I action it straight away. You know, I get on with it. I stay committed and I keep going. And
yes, I love that.
Yes. Yeah. You get it too, right? Yeah. Like we're the same sort of mindset. And this is where like mindset training comes in so much. I'm currently being hypnotized at the moment again. I believe that if I can, I believe that if I can keep training myself, I'll be a force to be reckoned with. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
Multi-millionaires, try tens of millions, you know?
Yeah.
That's
what we're going for.
Yeah. One of my really close friends who is in my 5 people that I speak with every week, he's going for 100 million this year. And I was like, you are. And like we message each other every week being like, how are you going? How are you on track now? How are you on track now? And he's like, he calls me Natty, 100,000 this month. And I'm like, yeah, man, I'm on, you know? And we're consistently pushing each other and motivating each other to get higher and higher and more and more results.
How can you not win?
How can you not win?
How can you not, like, when you get to that point that that's all you do, you talk about money, you research money, you have the right people around you, you have the right mentors, you invest in yourself, you put the time to work on yourself, you confront the obstacles that arise in front of you. How can you not get what you want?
Yeah. Totally.
You know, like you have to take it to a point where it's impossible any other way.
Yep.
That's how I see it. Yeah. It's impossible for me to not become successful because all the shit I do every day. How can I not? Yep. While everyone's partying or, you know, dealing with depression or all this shit, I'm conquering my day. Yep. I'm doing the things that I know I have to do because that's it. Because there's no other option.
No other option.
No other option is discipline. Yeah. I don't rely on motivation. I don't rely on how I'm feeling or anything. I never feel like doing shit. But guess what? I'm doing it. That's it. Yeah, same. So that leads me to the next one. What's the best advice you have ever received?
Good one. Follow my intuition. My intuition is fucking good. fucking good. And everything that I've been able to do in my life has been because of my intuition. All my mentors, the courses that I've done, the team. I've just hired a whole team. Yeah, my team.
That's
I love
awesome.
your team. And all of them have been intuitively gifted to me. And it's the best advice. And another piece of advice is push yourself further than someone else can push you.
That's awesome.
Push yourself.
Yeah.
And it's your, the ego that wants to stay in our mind. No, Natalie, you can't do this. Play small, play small, play small.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I'm here.
Yeah.
It's those two voices that you can choose to listen to.
I wanted to ask you something because I'm very curious. Obviously, after listening all of this, you're psychic. You're awesome.
I'm awesome.
You're a millionaire.
Thanks, babe.
You've been on spaceships. You're in contact with starseeds and all these incredible, unreal things.
Thank you.
What are you dealing with today? What's the biggest obstacle in your life today?
Great one. The biggest obstacle I have in my life right now is, honestly, choosing my friends. So we've talked about this a couple of times, that you are who you surround yourself with. And I've got some beautiful friends that I've had for years that fully support me, and I love them. And at the moment, I don't have a desire to spend time with them. And I'm definitely changing tables. And I almost have this little guilt of saying, oh, but they're really good people and they're really beautiful people. You should go and spend time with them. And then the plans never work, or the plans never fall through. And that's honestly the biggest issue that I have in my life. I feel guilty for not hanging out with them because I love them and they're such beautiful people. However, the timeline that I'm on right now, it's all I want to talk about is money and business. The only things I want to talk about is money, business, and mindset. Yeah. And whenever I talk to them, they tell me their problems. And for me, I've done so much work now that I'm like, how can you not figure this out? How can you not actually help yourself out of this situation that's actually not a very big situation? When, and it is, that's the biggest problem I'm dealing with right now, actually, in my personal life, is it's like, I really love these people and I don't know if I can take them with me. I'm going for it, and they can come if they want to. They can get on the back of the train, choo, 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 They can get back on the back of the choo-choo train and they can totally come with me. I know where I'm going, and them telling me that they wish they could see me more. It's not really, I don't know. It's a non-issue.
It doesn't work with the mission.
It doesn't really work with the mission. So that's probably the biggest thing that I'm going through at the moment personally.
I can't relate to that.
I can relate, And I fucking love them.
Yeah.
Every time I see them, I'm like, oh my God, I love you.
Not only that, like the thing is as well that there's people, you probably have experienced this as well. There's people that I care deeply about.
So much.
Because of our past or whatever.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, so here's what happens. How do I put this? So after you start working on yourself, I've worked in myself so hard in the past 6 years, just like you probably, like you're saying, and all these things. And once you advance in all your areas of life, I'm strong, I'm fit, I'm deadly. I can defend myself and people around.
Deadly.
I'm literally like I can fight, I can protect people, all these things. I'm articulated, I can speak 2 languages. I understand business. I understand money. I'm going to be a millionaire. Like I don't deal with depression and all this shit. I'm a man of action. I'm a problem solver. Like when I look at all the qualities. I'm a problem
solver. That's my favorite thing.
Yeah. When I look at all the qualities in my life and who I'm right now, and it's just improving. Because this is the other thing. I'm just upgrading myself every day. A 0.1%. But guess what? By the end of the year, I'm a whole different human.
Yeah.
What happens with your friends that you care so much and they support you and all these things and they're awesome human beings, but they're doing the same things?
Yeah.
You create the gap.
Yes.
So you start advancing yourself so much and they're still here. They're still doing the same things. They're still hanging out with the losers. They're still doing this dumb shit that keeps them in the same place. They don't progress in business. They don't do this. They're in a toxic relationship. They're,
blah, blah, blah.
They're unfit. They're unhealthy. All this. At some point, you can care so much about them, but unfortunately, the gap is too big,
Yeah.
that there's there's nothing you can do, you know. So
and there's not much in common with them anymore. And
exactly,
when they see you, the first things they do for me is they tell me all their problems. And now I also have a couple of friends that, because I am such a successful coach, that they think that I will coach them for free. And I'm like,
that sounds very familiar. That sounds very familiar.
There's a line here. If you want my help, you can pay me.
Yeah.
And then it's like, in the past, there was a boundary of like, oh yeah, I'll just keep helping them. And now I have this boundary. I'm like, this is a boundary. If you want me to coach you, you can pay me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
100%.
it's that certainty. That's also when I started making more money, was creating those sort of boundaries. Of, okay, I'm not actually going to gift you that anymore. I have, invested $70,000 in the last year on my mindset. So if you actually want help, you can invest in your mindset.
Yeah.
Or go and read a fucking book.
Yeah. No, totally.
Go
agree.
and listen to a podcast. It's going to grow you.
I had to put boundaries on that as well. Like everyone says, oh, can you make this video? Can you do this editing? This is super quick. Can you do this? Or can I just ask you a couple questions? And it's like a full consulting thing, full day of training. You have to set boundaries. And this is another thing I have learned. Because I used to be like this too. And now I fucking despise that being you going and ask everything for free.
Yes.
I used to go and be this, and this is what most people do. They go and you have a friend that does X thing. Oh, can you do this for free? Oh, can you do this? And you expect it to be for free. It's almost like, and if they say like, oh yes, sure, this is how much, and you get offended. Yes. You're like, me? You're gonna charge me? Or then you backtrack. You're like, oh no, I'm all good. And it's like, man, you're friends. That's why you need to be so careful with crafting your circle, because you should want to support your friends.
Yes,
that's it.
Funnily enough, actually, one of my really good girlfriends is my mentor, and we hung out so much, and she was giving me all this advice, and I actually said to her, I'm going to pay you. And she was like, what do you mean we're friends? And I was like, no, I'm going to pay you. And she was like, are you sure? And I was like, I'm seriously going to pay you. What do you charge? Because let's keep like all the questions that I'm asking you and the questions that we're talking about, actually let's leave that for our sessions and let's dive deep on it. And then we can just hang out personally. Yeah. And we'll put one hat on for business and put one hat on for friendship. Yeah. Because right now, I feel like everything that you're giving me, I want to pay you for your time. And she was like, really? And I was like, fuck yes.
That's awesome.
And that's another also, door opening into making more money for sure.
Yeah, flowing. Like understanding that in order to make money, it needs to flow. You need to give money as well. Yeah, it's a whole like flowing system. The free thing. Yeah. And it's interesting with my event. My events are only $47, so they're super low ticket. And interesting that a couple of my friends have been like, yeah, awesome. I'll have a free ticket. And I'm like, yeah, cool. No worries. And then I'm thinking to myself, if it was you, I would 100% pay. Yeah. And it's that coming back to, you want to support your friends. Yeah. And you want to see them succeed. Yeah, exactly. So I'm the same. I always, and I also like to pay my way, because I'm like, this is money, babe. I want people to pay me, so why wouldn't I pay? Yeah, exactly. And I think this is the other thing. Like, obviously it doesn't apply, I would say, in every case or every circumstance. But here's the reality. Every relationship is an exchange of value.
100%.
They're symbiotic. Yes. Symbiotic relationships. You don't want a parasite. You don't want someone that is just taking, because I can't stand those people now. Like, honestly, you need to provide value. So even what happens as well, when you become someone that provides a shit ton of value, people almost feel like they have to invest in you or pay you or give something of equal value to you, kind of thing, because also value is determined by the individual. Value is not the same for everyone. But yeah, find ways, like, don't expect shit for free. Yeah. And if you don't have, let's say, the money to invest or things like that, find ways to provide value. That has been a game-changing thing for me. Finding ways of how can I provide so much value to this person that they want to, hang out with me. They want to be around me. They want to know more about what we do, our business, all this stuff. Like, always over-deliver and provide value up front is another thing. Like, I get a bunch of people saying like, oh, can I work for you for free? in exchange of. Now it's not free, idiot. You know, you're asking my time, which is worth thousands of dollars.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
so
yeah. Yes.
it's one of those things. Have no expectations. When I say give value, provide value up front, don't expect anything on return. Now, if it's a relationship where you are always providing value and you haven't got any of it, that's clearly not a relationship. That's someone that is just taking advantage of you. But it's almost like a small risk that you have to take. And when it pays off, it pays off big time.
Yeah.
This has happened in business. This has happened in personal relationships, on every area of my life where I just decided, I'll give value. I don't care. I'm not expecting anything.
Yeah.
Guess what? Value always comes back.
Yeah,
or
totally.
at least 9 out of 10 times comes back to me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Totally.
I love this conversation. Honestly, I could keep going.
Forever,
This is by far the longest one we have done, but you're so interesting. I really wanted to dig deep into that. Is there anything that we missed? If people want to know about you or support you or learn more about all of these things, because clearly it's a whole universe in here to learn about. So where can they find you?
Yeah, thank you so much. So Instagram is my favorite platform. So Starseed Society 1111, just like 1111. Contact me there. I do have a link in my bio that people can book in for a free complimentary call, which is 45 minutes. We can talk about anything wild and wonderful, and I can provide value to you and also to tell you about my offerings. So everything is there, and or I have a website as well, which is at www.starseedsociety.com.au. So
that's awesome. Nat, it was such a pleasure to meet you. You're incredible. Thank you for coming here. This was awesome. I really enjoyed this conversation. Yeah. I hope you found some value in this. We'll definitely have you eventually for a round two, depending on the questions of people, what they want to know more about. If you want to support the podcast, please, the best way to do that is to head to Apple Podcasts and leave a review. 5-star, of course, because we don't do anything less than 5 stars in here. We reach for greatness, excellence. So that will really help for all the people to find the podcast. If you want to follow us, please do so at The Creative Grid on every platform. Subscribe on YouTube, and I'm at Netflix on every platform as well. I'll see you on the next episode. Good vibes for everyone.
Woo!
How's that?
Thank you. It was amazing.